Hello everyone, welcome back to another reaction video and Merry Christmas everyone. I hope you've had the best day so far. If you're not a Christmas celebrator, I hope you've just had the best day ever, just in general. But to those who celebrate the festive seasons, happy holidays and all that jazz. To celebrate, we've got a Christmas special video. It's not really, it's just kind of themed around Christmas. We are back with AITAH TV, Arthur Frederick, whatever you want to call him. We have Judging Christmas Controversies, r/Am I the A-hole? We watched one of these a couple weeks ago during Jingle Jam, and I really enjoyed it, and you guys seem to as well. So very, very happy he's done another one of these. And let's get into it, shall we? What better way to celebrate Christmas than to call some people out for being bellends? Let's go.
Right, so it's the Grinch! That's right, everybody. It's the holiday season and Christmas spirits are way too high for my liking. So
Facts. You know
I've decided to bring them.
That's what I mean. I love Christmas, but you know what I've always said? Christmas is too joyful. I've never said that. I fucking love Christmas. I have Christmas TikToks on my For You page from like June. I love Christmas.
Crashing right back down with an Am I the A-hole Christmas edition. So grab your jang jinglers and your big boing bounders because we're jumping straight into it.
You don't have to ask me twice.
All right, first up, am I the A-hole for giving crappy Christmas gifts and ruining my marriage? All right, so I, a 31-year-old woman, married my soon-to-be ex-husband, a 33-year-old man, in 2018. My in-laws never liked me and made it clear. My soon-to-be ex insisted that they're just putting up a tough exterior and that they'll grow to love me. To show how evil they are, one time I joined them for dinner and brought a cake I'd made because I was always raised to be a gracious guest. When I stepped into the kitchen and offered the cake to his mother as a thank you for inviting me, she took my plate over to the garbage bin, dumped it in, and handed me the plate back.
What?
When I told my husband what she did, he confronted her, and all of a sudden, the crocodile tears started, and she claimed she grabbed the plate but didn't get a good grip. I let go too quickly, and it fell to the floor, so of course it had to be thrown away. My sister-in-law confirmed that that was what happened. Damn, the whole family are out to get her. My soon-to-be ex also owned his own business, and they called me a gold digger behind his back. Of course, they insisted on a prenup, which I didn't care about because I never thought my marriage would end, and it would appease them and may allow them to finally treat me kindly. But nope, his business failed once COVID hit. We went through his savings on my own trying to keep it afloat, and I refused to go into debt to keep it going, so he closed it down. In 2022, he was suffering from really bad depression because he lost his business and couldn't find new work.
Where the fuck does gifting bad presents come into this?
Closer to his family, so he had a larger support network. Against my best judgment, we did. He wanted to only work part-time while he tried to restart his business, so I became the main breadwinner. And as with most wives, I became the person in charge of buying gifts. Stupid old me thought that buying them thoughtful, expensive gifts would finally make them see that I wanted to be accepted by them. Gifts to us were a couple's gifts, but clearly for my soon-to-be ex only. Every holiday was spent with them, monthly dinners with the whole family. After a year, I realized that if I ever tried to talk or join a conversation, everyone would go quiet, so I just stopped talking when I visited. Damn, I'm surprised you even continue to visit.
Yeah, what the
That's
fuck?
so awkward. Well, in early December, they finalized plans for Christmas. A few days later, my soon-to-be ex said that his family decided that they didn't want me to join them for Christmas Eve dinner and Christmas lunch because I ruined the family vibe. I replied, fine, we'll do our own thing instead. My soon-to-be ex, however, sheeply looked away and said that he was still going to go. I was livid and so disappointed in him. Valid. That was the moment that I knew my marriage was over. So I returned the presents I had bought for his family. In their place, I got one pair of novelty business socks for the father-in-law, a supermarket brand bottle of shampoo for the mother-in-law, and the nastiest perfume I could find at the dollar store for the sister-in-law. The most expensive gift was a large rawhide bone for my brother-in-law and his wife's chihuahua, too big for it to get its jaw around, rendering it useless. That's so funny. I saved about $600 to put on a deposit for a new apartment. My husband came home from Christmas lunch telling me I humiliated him and embarrassed him in front of his family. I asked him why he would think I would buy nice gifts for people who clearly don't like me and don't want me around.
I mean, I feel like it's somewhat petty, but I mean, it is petty. It's not somewhat petty. It is petty, but definitely not the a-hole in this situation. Like, I mean, I don't necessarily think the husband or soon-to-be ex, whatever it's called, is the a-hole for going to the family thing still. But the fact that he came home annoyed and saying that he's embarrassed and humiliated she's embarrassed and humiliated him is outrageous. Like, realistically, they're your family. If you've gone, fine, do what you want to do at that point. If you've gone to the family after they've said they don't want her there, and that's not an issue. No, yeah, the more I say it, the more he is the a-hole. I mean, the family are the a-hole. The whole family, realistically. It's not just the husband.
Well, I served divorce papers last week. Remember how he was supposed to be a millionaire by now, so he had that prenup? Soon-to-be ex is not eligible for any of my savings. It was required to keep separate accounts or alimony. He doesn't have money for rent or auto insurance. Not my problem anymore. Some of my friends and family are on my side and are proud that I went out in a blaze of glory, but others are telling me I was being way too petty,
This is the thing.
which isn't really like me. So am I the a-hole? I mean,
You're not the a-hole. Yes, you were petty, but you're not the a-hole.
no, first of all, with a prenup, he made his bed, he's got to lie in it. And second of all, the relationship realistically was over the second he said he was going to spend Christmas with his family and not you. I mean, fine early on in a relationship with your boyfriend and girlfriend, but as a married couple in their 30s, what the hell is that about? And if he wanted nicer presents for his family, he could have bought them himself. He's a useless loser. His family suck. You did the right thing. Although, what did the Chihuahua do to get a bone too big for it? Although, having said that, I feel like Chihuahuas are notoriously evil dogs.
They are.
Some of them are sweet, some of them are devil spawn. I'm guessing this one was the latter. What do the comments say? Not the a-hole. He chose his family over you and still expected you to buy all the presents. This was perfectly planned and well-deserved for every one of them, including him. He only worked 12 hours a week at Walmart so he could do non-existent work restarting his business. I make just over 6 figures, and I can't believe I didn't realize years ago I was a family ATM. Not the a-hole. You were treated horribly. Good riddance. I agree.
I was a family eight. Oh, a family eight. Right, I see. Yes.
Pretty overwhelming. As always, we're going to be keeping score so you can compare scores at the end. For me, currently, and I'm guessing for everyone else, it is 1-0 to the NTAs.
Not the a-hole.
All right, next up. My parents confessed last Christmas that my sister was the product of my mother's affair. Oh my goodness. Am I the a-hole for cutting my parents out of my life? This is insane drama.
What?
So I'll cut right to the chase. I, a 19-year-old male, was always treated as the golden child of the family. Lavish birthdays, lavish gifts, lavish everything. I liked the attention initially when I was a child, but as I grew older, I grew more and more sympathetic to how my parents treated my sister, who's 18. I never understood it. I initially thought it was because I was a boy and she was a girl, and that maybe they were sexist. It wasn't that they treated her badly, it's just that she was a complete afterthought, and as I grew older, that hurt me a lot. So I started working part-time jobs at 14.
I mean, already this guy doesn't seem like the a-hole because he's been... Like, that shows a lot of empathy and a lot of, well, as you said, sympathy to what's the word? To care about his sister. I mean, you should obviously care about your sister, but I think that kind of thought process isn't that common. So already I like this guy.
Up money to get her birthday gifts and other gifts. It wasn't much, but it had thought and effort.
That's really
something
sweet.
Which my parents lacked. It was pretty obvious that my parents were the biggest cause of my sister's self-esteem issues. They always talked about how smart I was, how I was destined for big things, and they bragged about it to other friends and extended family. But they hardly ever praised my sister. I was pretty fed up with it all, and after graduating high school, I rejected an offer to go to an Ivy League because I didn't want my parents to help me pay for a college education. I did get acceptance into a decent university which offered me a full ride scholarship, and so I accepted that. A year later, my sister too got accepted into the same university with almost a full ride scholarship. 4 months ago, we were at our parents' house for the Christmas holidays, and my parents confessed that my sister was the product of an affair that my mother had. They straight up said that they will never love her, that she was a mistake, and that they wanted nothing to do with her anymore now that she was 18.
Okay, you don't... That literally could have been that sentence alone. Not the arsehole. The parents are horrible, horrible people. Are you joking me?
It was shocking. My sister was obviously devastated. My sister and I immediately left the next day, but before leaving, I told my parents that they were dead to me.
Yeah, fair.
And I wanted nothing to do with them anymore. I seriously hated them. I'm not even sure why my mum was crying. Anyways, it's been 3 months. My sister and I have both taken a break in college for a semester, and my sister is still struggling extremely hard. But we've moved in together, and it's gotten better the last couple of weeks, and she's also started therapy last week. I'll never contact my parents ever again in spite of all they did for me. I'm dead set on that. But I wonder,
No, very, very, very clearly
this, like,
not.
a focus on genes that some parents and kids can have with their
That's
parents
so strange.
doesn't make that much sense to me. Like, if I raised a kid for 18 years and then found out it was genetically wasn't mine, like, I wouldn't care.
I still
It's not like
raised
those
that kid for 18 years, yeah.
like, just completely disappear. Like, you still love them as your own. Like, I mean, like, even with pets, like, you have a dog for 5 years, it's got nothing to do with you genetically.
Thing is, right, I always think, well, when people say that kind of stuff, you've never really loved that person. You loved them because you were supposed to. Like, say that situation does happen and you raise a child for 18 years and they get a DNA test and they happen to not be yours. You never ever loved that child. If you're willing to go, oh, fuck you then, I don't want anything to do with you. You never loved that child. You never wanted to raise that child. You raised that child because it was the morally right thing to do. And then as soon as you've gotten out, you've left. I've never understood that mindset towards it. Ever, ever, ever. It's so bizarre. So the fact that that's well, it's not really what's happened in here because they knew the entire way. But the fact that they've said, you're 18, we don't want anything to do with you anymore. I mean, it's very plain to see, but to be fair, that they never loved her. Very plain to see. But oh my God, that poor, poor person.
But you've been there since it was little. You've raised
Some
it for
people
5 years. It's
do
part
not
of the
deserve
family.
to be
You love it
parents.
like it's part of the family. Like, what difference does it actually make? I get for the dad, it would probably be a sore subject. Like, it's kind of a constant reminder that your wife has.
Yes, but that's not the daughter's fault. Blame that on your fucking wife. No? If you're that hell-bent and fucking butthurt about it, why are you still with the wife? No? What on earth is going on?
An affair and, a mark of embarrassment for the wife as well, but not actually the daughter's fault. And obviously, as far as the mum's concerned, the daughter's as genetically hers as the son is.
Yeah.
So none of this, like, we'll never love you, you're a mistake, we want nothing to do with you. Like, that is insane to me. And I definitely get being on your sister's side. I guess I find it so hard to put myself in that position because I can't imagine cutting my parents off for many reasons at all.
If my parents did this towards my sister, I would also cut them off. Doesn't matter who they are. If anyone did this to my sister, I would cut them off. They're just not a decent person, full stop. Doesn't matter whether you're the parent, doesn't matter whether you're related to me. If you can do that to another person, I don't want to be around you ever. You know?
If they did some of this, I'd be like, this is so weird, so messed up. I think I'd be just constantly arguing my sister's case. I don't know if I'd cut them all off forever, but they're definitely the ones in the wrong here. Like, maybe if you never contacted the parents again, I'd be like, maybe that's an overreaction, but you're not. You're asking if you're being an a-hole. I don't think it is. I think you're within your rights to do it. And
I don't think that's an overreaction at all. They obviously display that they do not care about someone that you obviously very much so care about. Why would you care about them anymore? You know? I genuinely don't think it's an overreaction.
Clearly, your parents are the a-holes in this situation.
Yes.
Like, this is just insane. And like, the poor sister, she probably feels some level of almost like validation for her feelings. This kind of like, I've always suspected that my parents don't love me as much as they love my brother. And I can't figure out why. And now she's figured it out and been like, you know what, this makes sense. So I wasn't delusional or just seeing things or overthinking things. Like, I was right. You were treating me different my entire life. What do the comments say? Not the a-hole. You're doing the right thing. They decided to blame and punish the only innocent person in this situation.
Yeah.
They suck.
Facts.
I know, yeah, like what's the sister done wrong to deserve that? Not the a-hole. Good for you for not leaving your sister to fend for herself. She was not the person who cheated. Your parents are pretty gross, IMO. And just dumb. Just so stupid. You know what? If it hurts that there's a constant reminder that she should go to couples therapy. I don't get how you can raise a child for 18 years and then just abandon them. Good luck, OP. Hope you and your sister do really well in life and share not a moment or a penny with the AHs who would do that to their kids. At this point, it almost seems fair to stop calling them parents. Just two shitty DNA
honestly,
donors.
Facts. Yeah, they don't deserve to be parents.
The DNA donor, but that might be rubbing salt into the wound. But you know what? They deserve it. So yeah, I mean, I'm on the fence. I think I'd have to be in this scenario to realize how strongly it would make me feel and whether
I'm really surprised at Arthur's answer. I don't think you have to be in the scenario at all. I think it's very like I'm close with my parents. Obviously, well, not obviously, but I can understand I'm not as close as other people maybe, but I don't see a world where if that happened in my family, I don't cut that person off. Genuinely don't see a world. Strange
cut off
to
my
me.
parents forever. But them having not actually put me into that position in real life, I can't picture cutting them out of my life forever. I'm
Well,
curious
no,
what
I
you guys
also
think
can't.
because I
But
mean, the comments definitely don't think that that's an overreaction either. So yeah, not the a-hole, and it's 2-0 to the
yeah,
NTAs. All right, next up. Am I the a-hole for leaving my husband and stepdaughter stranded on Christmas when I found out he gave her my big Christmas gift? So my
hang on, I need that again. For leaving my husband and stepdaughter stranded on Christmas when I found out he gave her my big Christmas gift. I don't understand that. Okay.
Stranded on Christmas when I found out he gave her my big Christmas gift. So my husband, a 41-year-old man, is the worst at gift giving. We have been together for over 3 years, and after the first year of not receiving anything for my birthday, anniversary, Christmas, and Valentine's, Mother's Day was the last straw after being told that I wasn't his mother. So I decided to start matching energy. Father's Day came and I was gone all day, when normally I would have put together a big lunch/dinner and drive 30 to 45 minutes to go get his daughter, who's now 16, so that they could spend the day together. He called me in the afternoon and I was polite, but not initiating conversation. He asked me when I was picking up his daughter and I replied that I had plans and that I wasn't aware that I was supposed to pick her up since nothing was communicated to me. When he responded with, "It's Father's Day," I used his response back. "You are not my father." I had anticipated him getting upset and knew a constructive conversation would not be had. So when he started to raise his voice, I told him check under the table and hung up. I had left a letter to him communicating how much I was hurt about going out of my way for him and not to have any sort of reciprocation. He called me later and said that he would try to be better and work on it. I ended up going to get his daughter during the week so that they could enjoy a dinner together. Background info, he drives big rig trucks, so the vehicle we use for everyday travel is mine. He's been getting better about the gifts. It's more of a go pick something out and I'll pay for it, which I really don't mind. He does the same thing with his daughter. I do all the shopping for his family gifts when it comes to birthdays and holidays. Cut to a week before Christmas and I wake up to my favourite coffee drink and my husband taking me out to eat breakfast, followed by a trip to the mall to pick out my Christmas gift. I rarely splurge on myself when it comes to purses and clothes. I have a preteen son from my first marriage, so I tend to be more practical on myself and spend on him for his birthday and Christmas. My stepdaughter, however, is very materialistic and is always asking for money or something expensive. And between her father and his family and her mother and her family and her stepfather, she always gets it. Well, I'd been repeatedly saying out loud that I needed a new purse since mine was hanging on by a thread and had decided to invest in a good designer handbag. I started saving money and looking online for my new...
I thought that the dad had given... I thought that the stepmom had gone out and bought a present for the daughter and the dad had given her that daughter and said, "Oh, it's from me." I thought that was the issue here. But no, I think the issue, TLDR for this, because this is long, is she's gone out and bought herself a new purse and then the dad's taken that and given that to his daughter. I assume is what's happening.
Dream purse. So imagine my surprise and excitement when we get to the department store and I see that they have my dream purse in stock. My husband sort of gave me a look when he saw the price, and so I told him that I could contribute.
Dream purse is a term that I didn't think
so that I could save enough to get this purse.
I don't think people had dream
dreaming
purses
about for months. He shook his head and said that I deserve it and that he would get it for me, but also gave me the expectation that since he was getting me this, he really couldn't afford to get me anything else. I screamed with delight and told him that was okay, I didn't need anything else. With that taken care of, my husband asked me if it was okay to go get his daughter and take her Christmas shopping. I had tons to do at home in preparation for the holidays, so this worked out so that I could have the house empty to get what I needed done. I was reaching to get my new purse when we arrived home, and he said for me to leave it because he had another gift he had previously purchased for me that he was going to put inside the purse for me to open on Christmas. I was on cloud 9, so I kissed him and left my bag and went inside. I was still busy cleaning and decorating when he got home later that night, and the rest of the days before Christmas were all a blur, with me trying to get the house ready for the holiday. I hosted Christmas Eve at my house with my family, and on Christmas Day I slept in, tired from the night before, and woke up with enough time to brush my teeth before we headed out to go get his daughter and then drive to spend the day at his mother's house. I fell asleep on the drive and woke up after his daughter was picked up and we were already en route to his mum's. I turned around to greet his daughter, and that's when I saw her rummaging and holding my new purse. Where did you get that purse? I asked her, and the car fell completely silent. I looked at my husband, and he stayed silent with both hands on the wheel, looking straight ahead. I asked her again, this time in a louder, more stern tone. She looked down and quietly mumbled, "My dad gave it to me." She already knows something's up.
Yeah.
Why is she looking down like that and mumbling? "You what?" I screamed. "How could you think it's okay to give her my new purse?" He told me to calm down, and I cut him off and screamed, "No," and then turned back to his daughter and told her that her father had no right to give her my purse
Okay.
and that she needed to give it back, to which she refused. I could feel my anger raging and then subsiding to a feeling of sadness and complete defeat. I put my coat over my head and leaned against the window, trying to cover my face and mouth as tears started running down my cheeks. My husband pulled over at the next gas station and his daughter bolted out, taking the purse with her. He tried to comfort me, to which I slapped his hand away and told him not to touch me and gave him a look of disgust. He informed me that after he dropped me off that day, he picked up his daughter, took her shopping,
I want to hear
and
this
on the way taking
explanation.
her home, she noticed the bag and saw the purse. She begged and pleaded with him to please let her have it. She reminded him about all the times he never got her a gift and how giving her this purse would make up for it, and that played on his heart.
That's such
and he
emotional
finally caved and gave her my purse.
manipulation.
He tried to say that he was going to make it up to me, and I asked him how, knowing it was impossible. Surely he could just buy her the purse as well, right? He had already spent his money and made it clear that he wasn't going to have money to buy me anything else. Oh yeah. I couldn't help but get upset as I tried to get him to understand how hurt I felt, and how it's not like she was suffering with her getting to open presents from her mother and stepfather, plus gifts from their family, along with the gifts she was going to get from his family, and that he already spent money on her for her Christmas presents, and that it was my one gift. I know Christmas is not about getting presents, but I was extremely upset that my husband could be so thoughtless and not consider the
that's
amount
what
of
I
pain
think
that
the main issue is. Quite obviously not the arsehole again. But it's just the fact that is even... it's emotional manipulation. Like, surely you've got to have a backbone and say, it's not your purse to your daughter. No? Like, I get you're going to want to try and make your child happy, and by the sound... He just doesn't seem like a great dad either, to be honest.
Oh, it's going to cause me. His phone rang and it was his daughter calling from inside, asking him to come inside because she needed money to buy something. As he was walking into the store, I looked back and tears began to fill my eyes as I saw all the gifts I picked out for his family with care. Something came over me and I stopped crying and got out and got in the driver's seat and wiped my face and peeled out of the gas station parking lot, leaving my husband and stepdaughter behind. I turned my phone off and drove back to town and spent the day with my family at my cousin's house and stayed with them, not returning any of my husband's phone calls and not returning home until late the following day. Wow, brutal situation, but leaving them stranded. The only phone call I did return was the one from my stepdaughter's mother to set her straight, after she left me a hateful message about leaving her daughter stranded because I was jealous her father bought her a new purse. I told her she had been told a lie and informed her of the truth, that in fact her father did not buy her a new purse. He had bought me a new purse, and she played on her father's emotions after he had already bought her expensive items from her Christmas list to guilt him to giving her my purse. She apologized and tried to come up with a solution, to which I replied for her not to bother. The damage has been done.
Honestly, I kind of respect that the daughter's mother had apologized. That's obviously, she's fuming that her daughter's been left, but then after hearing the explanation, to actually listen to the explanation and accept it is quite big from her.
Sister-in-law that my husband's brother went to go get them, and the story came out later that evening. His mother is on his side, while the brother and sister-in-law and aunts and uncles sided with me and got onto his daughter. Why is the mother on his side? I guess it's because it's her daughter.
Yeah, okay, maybe. The mother's going to be fuming still, no matter what, but she sounds like she's accepted the reasoning, right? She can still be on the husband's side. Because yeah. But, yeah.
I've spoken to his daughter since Christmas, and things are unsettling at home. I've become more distant from my husband, and when I make dinner, I don't serve him a plate. I serve only my son and myself.
Oh, no, her husband's mother was on his side, not the mother of the child. you can kind of see how he's been brought up then, right?
And I only engage in conversation with my son. Damn, is this relationship even salvageable at
No,
this point?
there's no point
He's
in
tried
this,
to
no.
reach out to me at night when we're in bed, and I always end up crying. I'm not angry or mad, I just feel nothingness. He's back on the road and I do miss him, but I can't shake the feeling of how he let me down, and I cannot hide my looks of disappointment, looking to see what others have to say about the situation. I mean, abandoning them both at the store does feel a little brutal, but he has massively fucked up. Like, why has he sunk all his money into, well, all the remainder of his money into getting you that and giving it away?
Yeah.
Kind of mad as well from like the teenage daughter to hear that it's someone else's gift.
Well,
and
that's the
still
thing.
be like,
You can tell that from daughter to the husband to the husband's mother, it's just a line of bell ends, realistically, right? They just all seem like horrible people. To be fair, the husband doesn't sound like a horrible person. He just sounds like you could walk all over him, realistically. The daughter is just a spoiled kid. Like that's literally it. She's a spoiled kid. Yeah, I mean the original poster isn't the arsehole, obviously. I don't see an issue with leaving them at the gas. They're not like in the middle of fucking nowhere. They're not left with a pack of hyenas or whatever you want to. They're not in danger. I don't think it's outrageous.
Like,
I'll be
no,
honest.
I don't care. I still want it. This just sounds like the husband is getting away with way too much. Like the fact that he doesn't do gifts for you and doesn't plan Mother's Day and expects you to do everything in terms of gifts and Father's Day and all that. Like, it just sounds like he doesn't prioritize his wife at all. And it's just sad. I can understand why people might say abandoning them at a gas station is a bit far, and like driving and not seeing them the next day is maybe a bit extreme, but I don't think this person's the asshole here. They've been let down way too many times for way too long. I think it was only a matter of time before they were like, you know what, I've had enough. What do the comments say? The way he has continually ignored you on all major events and milestones, and then gave away your first actual gift that you had to choose and partially pay for is appalling. Not the a-hole. Does he even want a wife? He doesn't sound like he cares for you at all.
Yeah.
Imagine begging for scraps from this useless dude. You had to beg for him to acknowledge you, do the bare minimum, and get you a gift that he readily gave to his daughter. Did he end up getting you anything after? Probably not. I don't think so, because he ran out of money. For this year, I hope you find the dignity to stop begging for your husband to give a share. Not the a-hole. But why are you in this marriage?
Yeah,
You don't
it's
matter
facts.
to your husband.
This
Period.
shouldn't
I
be
think,
a
like,
relationship.
You know, they're married and they've got a family together. I would say I wouldn't necessarily walk away straight away, but I'd be like, this is a turning point. Like, from now on,
something needs
you really
to change.
need to start pulling your finger out, because like, I don't want to live like this. I don't want to live my life feeling underappreciated and underthought of, and like other people are a priority. I mean, I get parents prioritizing their kids over all else, but you shouldn't feel like this much less of a priority.
Yes, but there's prioritizing your kid, and then there's irrelevant prioritizing your kid. Prioritizing your kid would mean like, in a state of emergency, making sure they're safe rather than potentially your partner, right? So say your house is burning down, you can only save one. 9 times out of 10, it's a horrible situation, obviously. 9 times out of 10, most people will say, I'm going to save my child. And I think that is the level of prioritizing your kids. In terms of giving them a present, don't think that one really matters, bro. You know, that one's kind of irrelevant, and doesn't really help his case.
Priority. So yeah, I think there needs to be a bit of an ultimatum. Never again should you be treated like this or feel like this. But not
I kind of agree. I don't like ultimatums, but I think that is a worthy ultimatum. Ultimatum. What? You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah, if he doesn't change, then he's never ever going to change.
3-0 to the NTAs.
Come on.
Next up, kids open their presents without me. My husband is usually a great husband and father, but I am so effing pissed right now. I don't think I've ever been this mad. I woke up this morning around 8:30 when I heard the kids running around. I knew they'd be eager to open their Christmas presents, so I got up immediately. I have a lot of trouble sleeping for various reasons, so my husband lets me sleep in every morning and watches the kids until I wake up naturally, or I have to get up to help the kids get ready for the day. He's alone with them for about half an hour to an hour.
Okay.
He knows what time to wake me up if I oversleep. So I come into the living room and there is wrapping
seems
paper
healthy so
everywhere.
far.
All the presents are already unwrapped and the kids, 5 and 7, are playing with them. I immediately started crying and walking back into the bedroom when my sadness also turned into anger and I started screaming like crazy. I am so mad. I spent so much time thinking about what to get the kids, ordering it or driving around to find it in the stores, wrapping them and everything. And I feel like I was completely deprived of the joy of seeing their faces when they open their presents, which is one of the best parts of Christmas.
Facts.
My husband said he videotaped it. I screamed at him why he either couldn't make the kids wait or he could have just come and woken me up. He said, I never wake you up in the morning. And I said, it's fucking Christmas morning. You didn't think I wanted to watch the kids unwrap the presents? And I called him an asshole. He just...
I don't necessarily think so far there is an outright arsehole, because the husband's acted without thinking, realistically. He's kind of done... I don't know. 5 and 7 is a hard age to stop kids opening presents on Christmas morning. Like I've got 4 little siblings. I know how excited they are at that time, especially when there's 2 of them egging each other on. Now, I'm not going to say he isn't the arsehole, but I also think that she has not necessarily overreacted, but I think the aggression and anger is a little bit too much. I just think the husband's acted without thinking, and as stupid as it is, he's done what he felt was right at the time, and it just wasn't the right decision. It's a poor judgment call, I think, so far.
I said sorry. He didn't say I overreacted. I'm really hurt right now, and I don't even know how to get over it. I don't feel like doing anything Christmassy today.
I mean, I can understand that ruining her day, though.
I guess this was more of a rant to get this off my chest, but you can certainly tell me if I was the arsehole or not. Also, if you have any suggestions on how to mediate my hurt feelings, that would be really great. I hope you all have a Merry Christmas. That is brutal. I said it in the Christmas gifts video. Like, this for me is such a big thing for my family. Like, my dad does the exact same thing, sets up massively for Christmas, and just cannot wait to watch us individually unwrap.
Like, I fully, like, her feelings are so valid, because that is, I don't know about you guys, but when you get to a certain point in life, the excitement for Christmas is seeing other people's joy. Like, you don't really care about, like, genuinely opening my own presents is probably one of the worst things on Christmas. I hate doing my like wish list and all that kind of stuff. We do Secret Santa on both my sides of the family. I hate doing my wish list because I don't like thinking about me at that time. I love buying the presents and going out and like buying all of the kids that we've got in our families presents and gifts and all that kind of stuff, and then watching them open it and the joy that they get. It's so sweet and it's so wholesome. So I do fully understand why she's upset. I mean, I guess the husband is the arsehole here, but this is probably the least arsehole out of the lot of them.
Each present, so I really feel like I feel her here. And also the mix of the sadness from missing it and the rage at the husband for not waking her up or thinking to make the kids wait. Like, what is wrong with him? I wonder.
Again, at that age on Christmas Day, it's fucking impossible to stop kids from like opening their presents. Like, genuinely. I grew up in a house of 7 people. I would be like made to be awake at 6 o'clock, and he has thought about her because she's obviously got issues with her sleep, whether it's insomnia or whatever it is. I don't know. He's left her to sleep because he feels, I assume, that's the healthiest thing for her to do. This one's a hard one for me. He is the arsehole, but yeah, I understand why he's done it.
If he's really pissed off at something she's done and is like, this is his petty way of getting revenge, because like, I don't see how this could be an oversight. how could you possibly not think about this? It's like starting Christmas without someone whilst they're literally upstairs. Like, it's such a big thing for everyone, right? Like, even if not all parents care as much as mine do, surely it would cross your mind as the kids start opening the presents to be like,
I mean, it obviously has crossed his mind because he's set up a video. But that doesn't, I do agree, that doesn't make it okay.
On that set these all up, that went out to the shops and bought them and ordered them and wrapped them and all that kind of stuff.
It's kind of like stolen valor.
Maybe we should wait. Like, of course. I think this is a valid crash out. What do the comments say? Our rule for Christmas morning with our kids was always wait until mum and dad get up and make a coffee before opening presents. They learn how to make a coffee at an early age to speed up the process. Wait, your kids are 5 and 7. This isn't your first family Christmas. What's happened on previous years? I'm assuming you didn't sleep through them. This has never been an issue before. In the past, I was either up when the kids were up or they waited to open their presents. So I didn't think it'd be different this year. Not the.
So in that sense, has the dad then gone, okay, you can open your presents now? If other years have been fine and they have been fine waiting, why was this one different? To be fair to the poster. It's a good point.
But since you're German and have trouble sleeping, where is this going? And probably being awake in the morning, I would consider going back to your roots and opening presents on the evening of the 24th. That way you can't miss it and pass on a bit of your cultural heritage to your kids. That's just a suggestion, of course. And I know that Ratschläge sind auch Schläge. What the hell does that mean?
Knows what that means,
advice is also a form of violence. It conveys the idea that advice can be unpleasant or unwelcome. I mean, there's not a direct English equivalent, but it's similar to advice is not always nice, or the truth sometimes hurts. Damn, emotional awareness from the Germans there. Shout out them.
Yeah.
You know, so sometimes when you're trying to rant and someone starts giving you advice and you're like,
it's the worst thing.
Stop giving me advice. I just want to be pissed off for a little bit. Let me rant. Stop trying to help me solve it unless I've asked you to help me solve it. Dad was inconsiderate. The kids could have been told that they could open one and then they have to help make breakfast and wake mum when it's ready. I bet mum is mostly angry because she's expected to do all the work and is not included in any of the fun.
That's very valid.
And that's pretty much what it comes down to. But you helped set up all the fun. You deserve to be a part of it, not the a-hole. So that makes it 4-0 to the NTAs. It is a clean sweep. I do agree,
and that is the strangest situation so far. And I don't think that the guy, the dad, is an arsehole. I just do think that he's acted stupidly without properly thinking, you know?
And the a-holes at least get a consolation in these last few. All right, next up. Am I the a-hole for telling my father and his girlfriend that the gift that she got me was creepy and invasive? Interesting. What's this going to be? So I'm expecting my first child due in February. Congratulations. This is the first grandchild on both sides, so everyone is very excited about it. My father's girlfriend, Lena, fake name, and I have an okay relationship, but we're very different people. I don't like most of the things she likes and vice versa. There's no bad blood between us, but she can be a bit pushy sometimes, so we're not exactly close. One of the biggest differences between me and Lena is our stance on influencer culture. She loves it, I don't. Oh God, am I going to get personally offended by this? Since I got pregnant, she's been sending me posts on Instagram of random influencers talking about their experiences with childbirth, motherhood, etc. That's kind of sweet. I mean, you know, here's a bit of experience from someone who's been through it. Here's what to expect. On the face of it, I don't mind it. Never made pregnancy content myself, but I can see the value in it. Well, a few months ago, one of her favorite influencers...
I've had a few friends that were pregnant recently, and they would share their stories a bunch of times, and I've never been pregnant. I never will be pregnant. But I thought it was all like really, really informative, and I feel like if I was in a situation where I was pregnant, I would want to see that. It's a common, I can't think of the word, but you're sharing something similar to someone else. It's a nice, what's the word? Fuck.
Gave birth and filmed the whole thing. She posted a cutesy, poorly edited video of the baby being born and her entire family watching from outside the delivery room with country music playing in the background. Lena sent me that video, and I remember telling her I'd never do anything like that. My husband and I celebrated Christmas at my cousin's place with the rest of my family. When it was time for us to exchange and open our gifts, Lena gave me an envelope. Inside was a videographer's business card. She told me that she was hiring him to film my birth. Someone else deciding that your coochie is going to be caught in 4K. Not. Pushing out a baby is crazy. I seriously cannot imagine being filmed whilst going through a medical procedure, and I don't want anyone...
I don't think that necessarily matters. Film whatever you want, but on your terms. What the fuck?
Besides my husband at the hospital with me, I've been clear about that since I announced my pregnancy.
Fair.
Yeah, actually, not only is it going to be filmed, but you're going to have a stranger in there zooming in on it.
Yeah, it's not even
Just
you filming
holding
it.
the bed, screaming as the baby's coming out and being like, oh, this is going to be a great thumbnail photo. Keep pulling that face. I didn't want to embarrass Lena, so I thanked her when she gave me the card. Yesterday, my husband and I had lunch with her and my father, and I told her that while I appreciated the gesture, I didn't feel comfortable with a videographer. So valid. Also, if that is how you said it, nice way to convey the message. I said she didn't have to get me anything else for Christmas, but I'd appreciate it if she didn't hire him. Both she and my father got offended, and we ended up having an argument. At one point, Lena
Your father got offended.
started crying and said that she couldn't understand why I'd pass up on the opportunity of creating such a beautiful memento of my child's birth. I replied that I found the idea of having someone film me during such a vulnerable moment to be creepy and invasive, and that this wasn't the first time I expressed that I was uncomfortable with it. Yeah, that's the other thing as well, like, she knew. My father said that it was very rude of me to say that and refuse the gift, and that he's very disappointed in me. My husband agrees with me, as does pretty much my whole family. I really don't think I did anything wrong, but my father's reaction is freaking me out. Am I
the fact that your dad, you're not the arsehole, full stop, like, not a chance in hell. I'm just surprised that there's two people thinking that that's an okay gift.
Definitely don't think so. I think you could have been valid on the day, being like, by the way, after. I mean, definitely accepting the gift with grace and gratefulness was a good thing to do. Yeah. But you could have definitely been after, being like, oh, you know, this isn't really for me. I've kind of said that before. Do you mind if we don't do that? Waiting a whole day and bringing it up at dinner. When else are you supposed to bring it up? I guess creepy and invasive are kind of brutal words to describe a thoughtful gift, but that is after the argument or during it. Like, Lena started crying and couldn't understand, and it's like, well, you want the real reason? It's weird. I don't want some stranger filming my butthole and front butthole for the whole world to see. It doesn't say whether Lena's had a kid before. I feel like that would make a really big difference. Like, if you've gone through pregnancy and childbirth yourself, surely you'd know that's going to be a sensitive moment.
I don't think that does make a difference. I, again, have not been through childbirth. And I don't need to know that I wouldn't want that if I was to go through it, you know? Like, say Meg and I were pregnant, I would never in a million years hire someone to film Meg giving birth. What the fuck would... Absolutely not. If she wanted to, fine, that's on her. She can do what she wants at that point. That's her moment. Like, fuck am I doing that? What the fuck?
And that not everyone would want it being filmed by a randomer. What do the comments say? Not the a-hole. Do not tell them when you're in labour, and tell the hospital that both of them aren't allowed in the delivery room.
Facts, actually.
I can see Lena whipping out her phone, and if your dad doesn't have your back during a moment that is purely yours and your husband's, then he can wait outside too. Wait, would people usually have their dad in the delivery room either? That feels also invasive. And would a dad really want to witness that? Surely not. Yeah. The partner I can understand, but anyone else? Surely not.
I mean, most people just have
anything until the baby's here. Not the a-hole. Giving birth is very private. And
normally it's just the significant other,
it's very creepy. Like, would she and your father want to see the video? Just go LC with them for a while and be careful. She might post pictures and videos of your child to social media without your consent.
Actually.
I'm not sure I'd take the influencer video she sent me as an example of this, but I do think she'd want to watch it. My father hasn't said he would, but he's never been squeamish and has seen videos of different medical procedures, so I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, she absolutely planned on using you to kickstart her influencer career. Fuck that noise.
Maybe, actually.
Yeah, maybe the girlfriend wants to post this and start her... Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Going viral off someone else's pregnancy, birth-giving videos, weird though. That is not the route to social media fame.
That's
also,
bizarre.
It's Christmas time. Your child is due in February, and she had the opportunity to give you any gift at all, and that's what she goes with. Not gifting or contributing towards like a cot or some nice baby clothes or a little toy or a bunch of diapers or pacifiers or something. A videographer so that she can get famous on social media using your snatch. That's so bizarre. I'm trying to figure out what word to actually call it that won't get me demonetized. I think snatch and coochie should be fine. So yeah, another pretty obvious one, right? Like a very personal, private moment, and you don't want someone filming it against your will, especially when the main goal is potentially to make someone else social media famous. So yeah, not the a-hole, and that makes it 5-0 to the NTAs. That's crazy. It's actually embarrassing for the a-holes. Where are they? Yeah. I do like a post when it's written by an a-hole. I hope there is one in this one, but it's entertaining nonetheless. On to the next one. Am I the a-hole for telling my boyfriend's family that I needed my hands amputated after they kept giving me craft supplies as gifts?
What?
Hi, Reddit. I, a 25-year-old woman, have been with my boyfriend, a 26-year-old man, for about 3 years. I'm really into crafting and love reusing things most people would throw away, like empty bottles or soda tabs. Over time, my boyfriend's family started saving things for me, like old cans or random scraps.
That's
And honestly, I
considerate.
thought it was super sweet.
Yeah.
I've always appreciated that they thought of me. That is sweet. But here's where things get kind of weird. So my birthday is super close to my boyfriend's sister's, who's a 28-year-old woman, like only 5 days apart. So we had a joint birthday party last year. As gifts, they gave me a bag full of craft supplies, like soda tabs, empty bottles, and some random other bits and bobs. I mean, it was thoughtful in a way, but then his sister got these super nice gifts, like a Pandora charm bracelet and an Apple Watch.
Okay. They don't owe you anything, first and foremost. There are a lot of people out there as well, which as soon as they learn something about you, they run with it, you know? So they know that you like this kind of thing. Like with Meg's mum, for example, I had a Coke there like twice or something when we visited once, and the next time I went there, the fridge was like full of Coca-Cola because her mum was like, "Oh, I remembered you like Coke. Here's 70,000 Cokes." I didn't want 70,000 Cokes, but it's thoughtful, right? They've remembered something that you enjoyed the last time they saw you. They don't know you that much, you know? It's a nice thing to do. They're not your parents, realistically. They're not your family. Your boyfriend's sister and you share a birthday, sort of. They're gonna spend more money on her than you. Your boyfriend, on the other hand, that should be different. But so far, getting mad about, or not mad about this, but thinking about this as an issue is strange.
I felt a little embarrassed, to be honest, but I kept smiling and thanked them because I really do appreciate gifts in general. My boyfriend noticed though, and he got really upset. He even wanted to call them out, but I told him to let it go and not cause drama. Then last Christmas happened. A few days before, I'd hurt my wrists at the gym. Nothing major, just a scrape and some bandages. But I hadn't told his family about it since I hadn't seen them. Only my family and my boyfriend knew what actually happened. So Christmas morning comes and we're all opening presents together. His family gave everyone else these amazing gifts. New shoes, jewelry, an iPhone, gift cards worth like hundreds of dollars. But when I opened mine, I got an empty soda bottle, some used and dirty aluminium foil, and a handful of soda tabs. That was it. Look, I'm all about crafting, but this kind of felt insulting. My boyfriend was fuming, but we decided to keep it quiet for now. Then his family asked me, all smiling, "Do you like your gifts?" And I snapped. I smiled back and said, "Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. But unfortunately, I won't be able to use them anymore because of my accident." They looked confused, so I explained very seriously that my injury was worse than it looked and that both my hands would have to be amputated. My boyfriend nodded with a straight face and added that we hadn't told anyone yet because it was a really emotional situation for me. Their faces went white. They started apologizing, saying they had no idea and how awful they felt. A few of them even looked like they might cry. I just nodded and said, "It's okay, I'm used to it by now," and left it at that. We left shortly after. But here's the thing. My hands are totally fine.
I'm really intrigued.
It was just a couple of scrapes. But I was so hurt and angry about the
this.
gifts that I wanted them to realize how thoughtless they were being. My boyfriend thinks it was justified, but later his sister texted me saying I was cruel for making a scene and guilt-tripping the whole family on Christmas. I guess the word got to her that my hands are fine. So now I'm starting to feel a little bad. Did I go too far? Am I the a-hole? I mean, I feel like the mix of kind of crap presents alongside everyone else getting much more expensive presents just makes it unfair. Like, if you're into crafts, there are plenty of expensive, fancy things that they could get you, I'm sure.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know exactly what kind of crafts and stuff or what kind of things there are because I'm not really into arts and crafts myself.
She mentioned she liked reusing materials, right? So they should probably have realistically done that and potentially something else, if everyone else is getting these really expensive things, like, again, using Meg and I as an example, my family have met Meg a handful of times. They will always still get her a gift for Christmas, but it's not like what they would get for someone else, you know? So, and Meg is not ever going to assume anything other than that. Meg says all the time, they never, ever, ever have to get her anything. Full stop. I think she is the arsehole. I understand where she's coming from a little bit, but I think she's been a bellend about it. And also the boyfriend.
But like sewing machines or stuff, or like tools, or like a blowtorch or something cool. There's got to be something that they could get that not only shows
but they don't,
thought
they
and
don't
that they
have
know
to.
you like arts and crafts and it's relevant to that, but also that they spent a bit of money on it and didn't just rummage around in their recycling for
yeah,
you.
that is fair enough.
OP doesn't want her boyfriend to call out his family's BS to avoid drama. Also, OP lies about having her hands amputated, which will certainly lead to drama. For me, that was over the top. You should have let your boyfriend deal with it the first time you wanted to. Thing is, those gifts are an insult. This time, have your boyfriend talk with them. I think it was a little much, but I do understand where you're coming from. You should probably let your boyfriend deal with it, as it's his family. Yeah, I mean,
realistically, it's up to the boyfriend. If he doesn't see it as acceptable, or if you both don't see it as acceptable, it is down to the boyfriend to have a word with his family and go, look, she appreciates all this stuff, but come on, you know? And at that point, if they carried on, not the arsehole. But handling it the way they have, arsehole.
And if this is just because I would find this so difficult to deal with socially if this happened to me. Like, especially if I was the guy in this scenario, just watching my partner make that kind of statement in front of my family, I'd be like, oh my God, that's a very extreme thing to say. Like, I get it. They're not really thinking about you and you're hurt by it. Your feelings are valid, but is this the best way to go about it? I did offer to have a word with my family, but you said no, and now you're doing this. Like, this is very much taking it to the next level. I think this is one where maybe there are multiple a-holes. I mean, they usually are, but where OP is one as well, because the family obviously did a crap job with the gifts, but the way you dealt with it was, to me, over the top. I agree with some of the comments that that's too far.
I don't necessarily think that the family are arseholes. I think they've probably gone on with it a bit too long and should have probably have moved on by now. But she's stated that she likes it. They might not know her very well. That's the other thing. Depends how much they see each other. Depends how much they talk. Depends how much they actually know of what each other like. Yeah. I think realistically, if I was in that situation, I was the family, I probably would get them like a gift card or something to somewhere that does craft stuff or something like that, so they can then go and pick something that's good. I know fuck all about crafts, and they probably don't as well. So I feel like that's kind of like the next step that it should go to. You know, maybe the first couple times do some bits and bobs that would work well towards crafts. Yeah, I don't know. She also did like appreciate it at first. She said to them it was really sweet, all this kind of stuff. So they've probably not just moved on from that fact. You know, they've been told that it was nice as a present before, and then they've just not really thought about it again, which, fair enough, they probably should. But I've probably done that before. I've probably bought someone something I used to buy my sister Rubik's Cubes all the time because she liked them. It got like 4 years in and she hated them and I was still buying them. And I was like, oh, I didn't know. My bad. There we go. Sorted.
I think your feelings are valid, but you did too much. So I think this one is an AH, is an arsehole. As you'd expect, again, these are all one-sided stories. Some of them definitely felt a little AI, especially probably that AH one. There was a lot of M dashes, a couple other signs, but who cares?
What?
I had fun reading them, and I hope you had fun listening to them. If you did, please feel free to subscribe so you can catch the next episode of Am I the A-Hole? And I hope this hasn't actually ruined your Christmas spirits too much. In fact, I hope it's made you look around and go, you know what? No matter how bad things are right now, could be a whole lot worse.
Facts.
And so with that, Merry Christmas to those who celebrate, Happy Holidays, and as always, thanks for watching. Bye.
There we go. What a video. As he said, I hope you do have an amazing day. I hope you're having an amazing time with family. If you're not, we do have videos going up left, right, and center pretty much. So don't you worry. There are avenues to have comfort during this time. I know it can be very difficult at times for people. But I do hope you're okay. I hope you're having a good time. And yeah, if you do need to speak to someone, make sure you do. But thank you thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. If you have, please do make sure you leave a like down below, subscribe for more, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.